I spent 100 hours stranded in the seas with nothing but a chest of fortune, a lack of wood, and a whole lot of problems. But how did I end up here? Let's go for a little recap. As soon as a fort of fortune rises, I'm on board the Redbeard and sailing my way towards it. And this instance was no different. As often happens during this event, another ship had beaten me there, and as the sloop was unaware of my presence, I moved in, and quickly realised that one man was trying to board me with a keg. Manoeuvring out the way and deciding to play it safe, I sailed off, leaving my ship to sail away slowly, as I took to one of the fort towers. After one of the cannon shots, their ship exploded, as it appeared that they had brought the keg on deck. Hoping to capitalise, I got back on board my ship and headed towards the now flaming vessel that was also being pummeled by a newly arrived skeleton sloop. I gave chase in order to help sink the enemy, but soon a fog lingered over, and as they entered, I decided to turn around and make my way back to the fort. Luckily I did, as I pushed through the waves and defeated the Ashen Lord with no sign of them again, until, as I was loading the 3 most important items on board, they arrived. I sailed away and they gave no chase, and with the treasure that I wanted, I went to sell. Or so I hoped. Before arriving at my destination, a skeleton sloop appeared out of the ocean and a quick fight began. Other than knocking down my mast, they didn't cause too much damage, but that would be enough to put me at a standstill. After the last hole was repaired, I tried to restock my wood to fix up the mast, but it appeared that my supply had run dry. Now this was it. I was out here all alone, no way of moving, and completely stranded. The first few hours weren't too bad. After calming down, I was now aware that I had to survive here. Making sure that I would have plenty of food, I got to work fishing, catching everything I could to eat later. But who knows how long you can spend eating only fish. After the first day, I was feeling confident. As 24 hours had passed, I felt that I was prepared to stay out here for as long as I needed to. But all this changed after another 10 hours of fishing and chatting with my new friend Old Horatio. The water around me suddenly began to turn black, as tentacles started to rise, and now I had to deal with the Great Kraken. This was the last thing I had hoped for, and as I fought to protect my ship, as one hole would mean that I could not sleep until I was saved, I fired my cannons and the tentacles squirmed, but they did not strike my ship until the very last shot forced it to beat against me before returning to the depths of the ocean, leaving me with one hole, slowly filling my ship and no way out. I was now on a timer. Once I fell asleep, it was all over and the ship, with my loot, would be sunk. However, for now, it was only slowly filling. This still gave me time for fishing to pass the time and even sit to reflect on life. But as the days carried on, the seas started to wear me down, and soon enough, Old Horatio began to taste my anger. We even argued over the chest of fortune, deciding who gets it in the end, but both of us refused to go below deck, as the walls down there began to swallow you up. A ship in the distance was heading towards me. Was I safe? Could it be real? It got closer, and I was prepared to send out my fireworks until I spotted the tattered sails of the oncoming skeleton galleon. I knew this was it. If they began to fire, all I could do was bail until somebody rescued me, or I sank to the depths with all of my treasure. And they sailed closer and closer until they sailed off, leaving me to rest easy for now, although I was still having to bail out after the Kraken attack. time was getting on, and I wasn't sure how much longer I could stay awake. But suddenly, I had an idea that I wish I'd have thought of sooner. I raised the mast, and whilst it wasn't fixed, it held just for now, as I climbed to the top and put up a Reaper's Mark flag. Now all I could do was continue to fish, talk, and bail in the hopes of a saviour. Each step was unbearable. I was now sure that my fate was to lose myself, the ship, and the loot out here, as I could barely book it anymore. But this is when I saw it. My saviour? Oh no, this was my downfall. Circling me now was a great megalodon, and as I went to fire, I had realised my supply of cannons was completely depleted. And it wasn't long before she began to crash into my ship, creating many holes below deck and showing no signs of slowing down. I was now sure that I was beat, but I had to continue to bail until I noticed a brigantine, Reaper 5, heading in my direction. I fired my fireworks, as this would be the only time I could use them, and as they lit up the sky, I continued to bucket, and the brig looked to be heading my way. Preparing for death and to face the cannon fire of their ship, I stood there, helpless. But a pirate had jumped off, boarding my ship and getting straight to work rebuilding the Redbeard, patching the holes, emptying the lower deck of water, and most importantly, raising the mast. They also handed over more wooden cannonballs to me. However, it now appeared that another brigantine was right behind us. With the ship repaired, we sailed away as both brigs decided to face off against each other, leaving me to escape with another pirate on deck. I told them just how grateful I was, and it felt weird seeing another pirate after so many hours alone, but it appeared that Flameheart had sent out a search party to find me, as I still had more missions to do for them. And as we arrived at the hideout, I gave my saviours the most precious chest as a reward, before taking them to the lair for a few drinks. After this, however, nothing felt the same. One wrong move could land me back on my own, stranded without help, and the time away from everybody with nothing but survival instincts kicking in had left its mark. But alas, if you want to see the most Reaper way to win during the Hourglass, click this video on screen and don't forget to subscribe for more tales like this one. Arrgh!